a busy day already. It was a busy day yesterday too, so I didn't make a video yesterday, and for that I apologize. I was preparing for anything and everything. It's just one of those days where sometimes you take all day to prepare for the rest of the next few days, right? So this morning I did a Muscovy duck that was about 10 months old. He was a male, and he wasn't very big. He's somewhere in here. Even though I try to breed big with big, sometimes you get some that they're like runts. Now I've got 3 male Muscovies that I would like to do today. One's out of the way, but I'll show you what the breast looks like. It's nice red meat, and I think I'm going to make jerky out of those 2 breasts. So it's been busy. Today's the cooler day of the next 2, I guess. So I've got to do the birds in that I want to today, and then spend tomorrow taking care of them, right? Make them into jerky or soups or can them or something. So everything is really loud today. I'm not really sure why it's so loud. I can hear way up the road. There's a gravel pit, and you can hear that, but the wind is blowing right this way, so it is what it is, I guess. So it's kind of bright, even though it's cloudy. And Sandra, I stepped in front of the snowbank just for you. Hope it cools you off a little bit. So today, I'd like to touch on, remember the Waltons? That TV series, The Waltons, that like 70s and early 80s, it was on TV, but in the show, it took place like during the Depression era, right? People were struggling for work, people were struggling for food. And remember that one show where there was a guy going around taking from the haves, the people that had food, and he would take food from them and give them to the less fortunate, right? The ones that don't have as much food. You know, like a Robin Hood, right? Steal from the rich, give to the poor. Well, if things ever got bad, folks, you're going to have those people that may steal from the rich and give to the poor. Or you could have those that don't have food coming to you who do have food. Like chickens, right? So we're going to have to protect our flock if it comes down to that, folks. And most thieves will come in the night, right? It's the best time to catch a bird, is in the dark. So, you know, it's pretty hard for people to understand if you don't live off grid, or if you don't homestead, or if you don't homestead while living off the grid, you don't realize, and if you've never done it, you probably don't realize the work that's involved with that, right? Just keeping the birds happy and healthy is quite a chore, right? Especially in the wintertime. So that's hard for people to understand, I think. Some people. The most frustrating question I used to get, and I've straightened them out, is what keeps you so busy? Well, obviously, those people that have asked that question really have never homesteaded or lived off grid. Because if they asked that question, they already knew the answer, right? What keeps you so busy? Try homesteading. But those people, then you have people with money that don't understand what it's like not to have money. They just don't get it, right? If they've never struggled, they don't get the constant worry, and they don't get the, what can I buy this week? What can I put off? What do I absolutely need to buy? They don't get that, right? And that's good. I'm glad they don't get that. Then you have time. You know, some people have all the time in the world to do this or that. Then you have others that may be sick and know their time is limited. And those people don't waste time, right? They know the importance and the value of time. But to the person that has all the time in the world, they may not get. And they may kind of, squander away time. People that have running water don't fully understand what it's like to haul water, chop a hole through the ice, lug water. Because the people that have never done that and they have running water, all they have to do is go over to the faucet and turn it on, right? How about the people that live with power? You come home at night, you flip a switch, right? Instant light. Instant light. For those who live without power, it's not so simple, right? So, if you turn on a faucet for hot water, you may have to wait, 30 seconds for the water to get hot? Not so if you live without power. It takes a while for a pot to heat up on the stove, right? Pot of water. So it's a little different. Some people have it really easy, and some of us like to live the old-fashioned ways, where the work is a little harder and what we want comes a little slower. But the point I'm trying to make, folks, is we don't know what's happening, right? We don't know what's happening. People are talking about war. People are talking about starving. People are talking about cyber attacks. So if there was a cyber attack and there was no on our electrical grid, and all of a sudden we were without power, people like me who live the way I do, we're not going to be affected much by that. But for those people who rely on that electrical grid, they're either going to have to step it up real fast, and a lot of people already know. A lot of people already know how to, live without power. And again, I go right back to that freezer thing. If you don't have power, and a lot of your food is in refrigerators or freezers, there's a scramble going on, right? You may have a generator. You may have solar power. That's all good. That's all good. But what if it's cloudy for 2 or 3 weeks at a time and you don't have that sun to generate that electricity? You could run your generator. Generator's going to use gas, right? And if we lose our power grid, folks, you're not going to be able to get gas, right? So if something happens to our power grid, we're going to be thrown right back several years, folks. So it's probably a good thing that you have backups for your backups, your knowledge, your skills. I can't stress enough about skills, folks. You've got to have skills. So, I guess that's it for now. I guess that's it for now. I think I'll add to this a little bit later.